Hello friends, welcome to my channel, a channel for learning simple coding. If you find this video to be helpful, please like, share and subscribe my channel. In this video we are going to learn life cycle of component in React. So as you know that we have two types of components, functional and class component. So both have their life cycle, but basically we talk about the class components, and if we talk about the functional component, then we need to use hooks. So basically here we are talking about the components of the React. Now in each and every component of a React have three phases, that is, you can say, permanent, and one phase is optional. So mounting, updating and unmounting, these three phases are permanent, and error handling is optional. If we have a bug in components, we have an error, then the component will goes to error handling phase. Otherwise each and every component have mounting phase. Whenever we add the component in the DOM, the virtual DOM we have in React, so whenever we add the component into the DOM, it's called mounting. Whenever we do some changes in the states and the property of a component and we do some updations, then we have updating phase. That means we alter something in the DOM. And if we delete a component from the DOM, then we have unmounting phase. So we have three phases basically in component lifecycle. We can understand by diagram here. So we have mounting phase, we have updating phase, we have unmounting phase. And if we have an error in these three phases, then we will goes to error handling phase. Now in mounting phase of a component lifecycle, we deal with four methods. First one is constructor. It is the first method that occur whenever a component create, because the component always create whenever we execute a constructor. So it is the first method that execute in the life cycle of component. After that we have getDerivedStateFromProps that have two parameter, props and state. This method is introduced in React version 17. Before that we had component will receive props method. This method has been replaced by getDerivedStateFromProps, and we have two parameter here, props and state, from the 17 version of React. Third method is render method. It's a permanent method that always execute here. After this render method, we have component did mount. Whenever your component is inserted or rendered, or you can say mounted to the DOM, then after the render method, this method execute component did mount. Remember, these are the four methods in mounting life cycle of component. These are the four methods that execute in component life cycle during mounting phase. If we talk about updating phase, then we have getDerivedStateFromProps. That means this function execute two times. It execute in mounting phase also, it execute in updating phase also. We have a two parameter, props and state. Then second parameter in update lifecycle of component, should component update, that execute before render method. Should component update, this method execute. Then we have a render method that is must to execute in update phase also. After this render method, we have get snapshot before update, means before updating actual component, we have this method to be executed. It have a two phases, previous props and previous state. So you can compare here previous states with the new states, and then you can take decision. So this method execute just before the update and after render. Then when updation is complete, then we have component did update, and we have three parameter here: previous props, previous states, and snapshot. So that means in updating a life cycle of component, we have 5 functions that executes. We will see all these functions one by one in later videos as example, but here we have to understand that in a mounting phase we have 4 functions, 4 methods, and here in updating phase we have 5. In the unmounting phase we have only one method, component will unmount. This method we have. So this method we invoke immediately before the component is unmounted, means the component is going to be destroyed or going to be deleted from the DOM. So before that we execute this method, and we can use this method for unregistering or for deleting a drivers or deleting or clearing a memory of your React applications or objects. Now we have optional phase of error handling here. If the object, remember this diagram, if we have any error in these 3 phases, then we have 4th phase, that is called error handling. In error handling we have 2 methods: getDerivedStateFromError. getDerivedStateFromError. This method execute. This method is called whenever error is thrown, and it have a 1 parameter error. That means by this method we can display what is the error that occurred within a component. Now we have another method that have 2 parameter, error and information info. That method name is component did catch. So this method is also execute whenever we have a error. We may override this getDerivedStateFromError method if we want to only know the error. If we want to get the detailed information about the error, means we want to get information about the error, then we may override component did catch method also to handle error. Now this is the last you can say slide to display all overall life cycle of your component. We have mounting phase, we have updating phase, we have unmounting phase. If you see in unmounting phase we have single method, component will unmount. In mounting phase we have a constructor, then we have a getDerivedStateFromProps that execute in mounting and updating also. Then we have a should component update, that is a part of updating phase. Then we have a render method that is a part of both mounting and updating. Then we have get snapshot before update, that is a part of updating phase. Then we have component did mount, that is the last method in a mounting phase, and component did update, that is the last method in updating your component lifecycle phase. So overall we have these methods. That methods must to remember, and if you want to be a good React programmer, then you must to remember these phases, because only these phases information, these methods information, and if you know the overriding of these method, if you know where these method we have to use, means if you have a proper and complete information about the life cycle of component and information of their methods, when, where and how we have to use these methods, then we can make command over React application development. That's all in this video. If you like this video, do subscribe. Thank you for watching this video.